Hey, we're here at Pulaski State Prison. I'm Spencer Shelton. I'm here with Gretchen, one of our seminary students. We're here to talk about our seminary program. And Gretchen, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Gretchen. I am a graduate of first seminary class from Whitworth Women's Facility, and I'm currently working as an in-house missionary here at Pulaski State Prison.
And how long have you been here at Pulaski?
We've been here about 2.5 months.
And what have those 2.5 months looked like for our seminary graduates that have been transferred to Pulaski?
It was a big transition,
Of course.
into a bigger place with a different culture. However, the chaplaincy department here and Miss Mahogany, the director of care and treatment, they were prepared for us, and they had a plan put in place for us. And so right as soon as we got here, they put us to work, being able to shadow the chaplain and meet the employees so they would get used to seeing us in conjunction with the chaplain. So it's been really great. We've been able to set up church services and Bible studies where we live with 60 to 70% turnout every week. We've had people come to Christ since we've been here. So we're doing a little bit of one-on-one and small group discipling with that as well. So it's been a great experience.
And let's walk back to your time as a seminary student at Whitworth.
Okay.
What did that time look like for you? Did you have any previous education? Had you previously earned any degrees? I mean, what led you to enroll in the seminary program?
Well, I had some college education in a completely unrelated field. Seminary is not what I ever would have picked for myself. It was definitely a Holy Spirit thing. And what led me to apply was when we got the notice that seminary was going to be offered, I immediately deleted the email. And I did. I said, oh. And I deleted the email. And then we got another email 2 days later. And I felt that little tug that said, no, this is what you're going to do. And I prayed about it, and the Holy Spirit said, no, this is what you're going to do. And of course, I was in prison at the time, so I was in the middle of learning what willful disobedience looked like.
Sure, of course.
In my life. And at that point, I had reached a point of surrender where I was like, you know what, God, I don't know what you're doing, but I trust you way more than I trust me at this point, so let's go. So I filled out the application. I even wrote on my application because we had to do a little essay of our call and why we wanted to go to seminary. And I told that story. And I was like, whoever's picking this, please just pray, because I have no idea what I'm doing. And I didn't. And I don't think any of us had any idea what we were doing when we got there. We just knew that's where we were supposed to be.
And looking back on that time in the seminary program, what were some of the challenges you faced as a college student?
Well, in the prison setting, all of our movement is controlled by other people.
Sure.
There's always something going on to distract you. You're not really living in a community where everybody's trying to do the right thing.
Sure.
And you're living in a community because you have made the decision to do something that sets you apart. So everybody that's still struggling with the bondage of their sin is pretty much just waiting for you to fall on your face.
Wow.
You know, to go, I told you.
Yep.
See, and so the biggest struggle was interacting with the women around us to let them know, hey, we're still just people. We're still just people that mess up every day, just like you. The only difference is we have God to help us through. You know, so we mess up a little less as we go.
You're not alone.
You're not alone. And living there for 4 years during the seminary program, we made some amazing connections with people. I mean, by the time we left there, because it's a short-term facility, and so there are people filtering in and out, I would say hundreds of women over a 4-year period.
Wow.
that we witnessed to and taught Bible study to and discipled and prayed with. And because when you're in prison, even though some prisons have things in place to help you with things like grief and trauma and other things that you face, nobody can help you through something like that better than somebody who's going through the same thing that you are at the same time. And especially when COVID hit. When COVID hit, there was no outside people coming in.
Yep.
And the seminary program, we are the only people that were even moving. We never missed a day of class. Now, our professors couldn't come in, so they had to make us little videos and send our syllabi and our work and stuff, but they never made us miss a day of class.
Wow.
I know, we're the favor of God. But so we were essentially the people who were there when a loved one passed away. Because now, in that situation, you can't go outside to the funeral. All you have is a 15-minute pay phone call, you know? So, and we're the people who are there when somebody's sick, or when a child's getting arrested, or, you know what I'm saying? Like the big things that people need help in the free world with. It's a whole different ballgame digesting and processing that stuff in here. And so we were blessed to be able to help people.
And what was it about the seminary program that made you prepared to have those tough conversations?
Okay, well, first, our professors were phenomenal. These people, none of us had ever met anybody like them in our life, because they came in and they poured into us every single day and just showed us what people of God were supposed to look like. Because you don't get to a place like this when you've encountered a lot of people like that your whole life. You know? I'm sorry, I'm a crier. This happens. But, so they came in and they had so much knowledge and so much love and so much hope that they painted this picture of, this is what you all can do. We're going to show you how to do it. So they did. They came in and they gave us an example of what we were supposed to be. You know?
I love that. And what would you say was your favorite class in the seminary program?
My favorite class was anything Old Testament. And I know that sounds kind of crazy to some people. Yeah, but I'm a history person.
Sure.
So the Old Testament classes were definitely my favorite, because we had resources there that allowed us to dig deep and know, okay, well, this is what was going on, and this is where it fits into history that you're taught in school, and so it made the Bible more concrete for me, I guess, you know. Because growing up, for some reason, you never really placed biblical history in the same linear progress as human history.
Of course. Sure.
Your mind just doesn't do that, you know? So that, it planted the Bible in history for me, and I was like, okay, here we go. And so my mind works like that too.
Of course. And to help the people that support this incredible program, to help them understand what the program looks like for you guys, what is a day as a seminary student look like? I mean, what all are you guys doing?
Okay. So normally we got to class between 8:30 and 9 o'clock in the morning, and we had study hall from 8:30 to 11:30, and then we broke and we went and we got lunch, and we came back and we had lecture or class from 12 to 3. And everybody needs to know this. We do all the work that they do on the campus at New Orleans. The same exact syllabi, with minor adjustments for the things that we can't do inside prison. So it's hard. None of us were prepared for the academic level, because it'd been over 20 years since I'd been in school.
Of course.
And everybody else was like, whoa.
It's college level.
It's college. It is definitely, this is not Because in prisons they have a lot of classes and groups and activities, which is great because it gives people something to do.
Sure.
But you just kind of go and you participate, and then you get the little certificate and you move on. And we were like, this is heavy, because we had to type all of our assignments and everything, which HeartBound provided all the computers and all the things that we need, everything that we needed really for it. So in the course of a day, we were with each other in a classroom from 8:30 to 3:30 in the afternoon, 5 days a week. And that allowed us to bond as a group too, because that's important. When you're doing something like this in prison, having other people around you that are doing the same
Support
thing
system. Yep.
is very important. Very important. And that's about, it was a lot of work. A lot of work, but it was great. I tell people when they ask me about it most of the time, it's the hardest, best thing I ever did.
I love that. And what did you learn about yourself, Gretchen, through this seminary program?
I learned that my life doesn't have to be defined by the biggest mistake I made. And that God does have a plan for me in here and out there. It gave me a purpose. It gave all of us a purpose, instead of just sitting, because all of us have lengthy sentences, most of us anyway. And so instead of just sitting us in a room with other people for 10, 12, 15 years and doing absolutely nothing, it gives us a purpose to, why do we get up today? Why do we choose to be better today? Why do we choose to share God today? Because it is a choice. Every single one of us have to get up every single day and go, okay, God, I'm here. You're here too, so let's do this thing.
And our fundraiser for this year is built around the theme 20 Years of Hope, celebrating HeartBound's 20-year anniversary. Hope for 20 more.
Okay.
What does hope look like for you and the fellow seminary students in a place like this?
So I think the most important thing is that there's not a lot of hope in places like this. There's just not. Lots of times when people reach this point in life, they don't have any expectancy of anything different or better or outside of this place, and so they think that they're just who they're going to be. This is just who I am. This is what my life is. Especially for people with life sentences and things like that. And so it's really easy to fall into the mentality of, what are they going to do? Put me in prison? I'm going to do what I want to do now. And so life can get really, really bad really, really quickly here for people. And there's a lot of loss of hope. The only way that any of these women are going to find any hope is through Jesus. It's the only way any of us will. But, that's where God works the greatest, is when the things are the darkest. If you go back in the Bible and you read and you see, it's just when everything is completely chaotic and there's absolutely no plan for anything other than devastation, then God, And so being able to have the ability through graduating the seminary program, having the ability to come into this place and see people that I knew before when I left, because we left from here, and they knew me before, and they can see the change.
Wow.
And they go, wow, what are you doing now? And then to say, I'm a peer minister, and I'm here to serve you. And let me tell you what Jesus can do for you. And to be able to speak the life and the truth into people, hope can come back in, and there's no reason that even people with life sentences have to live without hope. So that's what seminary's helped me do. It's also, I've experienced complete family restoration.
Wow.
During this experience. Because my life before and my addiction and my choices, I mean, we call it Hurricane Gretchen, just tore everything apart.
Sure.
And I didn't even try anymore because of the guilt and the shame and I don't even have a right to ask these people to be okay with me anymore. But the more that I focused on God, He just started putting all the little pieces back together. And now, 7 years into my prison sentence, my family dynamic is way better than it's ever been. Ever been. Because I'm also able to show the hope and share the hope with the people that I love most, you know?
And Gretchen, if you're comfortable, talk to me about the person you were when you came in versus the person you are today and what changes you've seen in yourself.
Okay. The person that I was when I came in, I was angry. I was so angry. Because I was raised in church, little small town, rural area church. And so I knew who God was. And I knew what the Bible said, but I didn't know what it meant. You know?
Yeah.
And some pretty traumatic things happened in my teenage years and then early on in my 20s. And I was like, you know what? God, I tried to do this thing the way that people say you're supposed to do it and the way they say you say we're supposed to do it. And it's gotten me absolutely nowhere. So I'm done with you. And I literally made a conscious decision. I'm done with you. I'm not going to have anything to do with you. I'm doing this thing my way. And then the next 15 to 17 years after that, everything just imploded. Some people will say that their addiction fueled their separation from God, but my separation from God fueled my addiction.
Wow.
That was the cause and the effect. Because I searched everywhere. Like, I mean, I dabbled in all kind of different religions. If any kind of drug there was, I did it. Because there was this big gaping hole inside of me. And I wasn't comfortable with any kind of emotion except for anger. And my dad actually told me the last time I saw him before I got arrested, he told me, he said, I hope you're ready to deal with this thing, whatever it is that you have going on, because I can't worry about it anymore. I gave you to God this morning. He said, my hands are off of you. I completely gave you to God this morning. It wasn't very long before I was sitting in the back of a police cruiser, and it saved my life. I probably didn't have 4 more months on the street. And I wanted to die.
Sure.
Like, my addiction had got to the point where I was doing it just not to be sick anymore. It wasn't even like it was an existence that revolved around wanting to die but not being able to die. I mean, I don't ever want to go back to that place ever again. And so I got to county jail, and they didn't give me a bond, and I was mad. I was like, what do you mean I can't go home? I've never been arrested before. What do you mean? So they didn't give me a bond, and so the county that I was in, we were locked down most of the day. And so I was in a 2-man cell by myself, and the only book that they would let me have was the Bible. And so it was kind of a standoff there for a little while. But then my husband actually sent me a postcard, and it had John 14:27 written in the corner of it. Because he's a religious person. He was arrested with me. And I said, what is this about? So I go and I read it, and it's when Jesus is telling his disciples, "This peace I leave with you. It's not peace that the world gives," you know? And that's all I wanted. That's all I've been searching for my whole life, was just peace within myself, you know? And so I was like, whatever. I got real mad about it. But over the course of the days following that, I started reading my Bible more. And finally I told God, and I had an attitude about it. I was just like, you know what? If you're really there and you're really who everybody says that you are, now is the time that I need you to show up, man. And this peace just laid over me. Yeah. Just laid over me. And that's why I put the application to seminary in, because I am never going to do anything that takes me out from underneath that blanket of peace. Because I finally have it, you know? I finally have it. And I'm not doing anything to mess that up anymore, you know? Because I've been on the complete opposite spectrum. And that's not even life, really. That's just existing, you know?
Thank you for sharing. And as we hope for the future, what does the future look like for you?
Well, I have absolutely no idea what God plans for me to do as far as ministry goes out there. I know 100% that I want to be involved in prison ministry. I should be going home this year, by the way, by the end of the year. I want to be involved in prison ministry if they'll let me come back in and do those kinds of things, because I'm going to have to leave a lot of people that I love here, you know? And I know that every prison is full of people like the people that I have to love here. So I want to do that, but I also know I'm called to advocacy, because we need a voice. Because the system is broken, and Jesus is the only thing that we've got going for us right now inside the Department of Corrections, you know? So I want to be able to be that voice in whatever capacity I'm allowed to be. I'm going home to my babies. Well, they're not babies anymore. I have a grandbaby that I've never met that I'm going to get to meet, but but I'm going home, and I have not been sober out there in 20 years. So I'm looking forward to actually living normal. Yes. Living normal. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what God has.
Well, and there's just such a clarity to your voice, to your eyes. I mean, I'm so excited to see. I mean, so many of our seminary students are now out, and they're going out and they're making a difference. They're not only inspiring their families to go get an education, but some of them are returning to prison, which is just, I mean, to spend such a long time in this place and to want to go back and serve. I think that speaks to a testament of who you all are and what a difference that this program has made through you guys. And what does a day of ministry here at Pulaski look like for you all? I mean, talk me through these conversations that you're having with these, you know, with the women that you're sharing hope with.
Okay. Well, we've been locked down for about a month, so it's a little different now. It's a little bit more intense, which that's good though.
Sure.
I think that God created this unique circumstance, really, so that we could, as we first get here, be able to connect with the women that we live with. But once they got used to us, like being real and not just, hey, we're here, this is what they call us, they knew that we would pray for them. They knew that we knew what we were talking about. They knew that we had experienced the same things they'd experienced.
Wow.
It's like anytime we walk out of our room, it's like the doctor is in. Like just going to the water fountain and back. You know, you'll have 4 or 5 people stop you and go, hey, Miss Gretchen, can I talk to you about something? Because they don't want to just share their bad stuff or request prayer, which is what we're here for. But they want to share the good stuff too. You know, like my daughter's having another baby, or my grandson made honor roll, or my, you know. And so not only are we getting to sit in people's grief or worry with them and show them how to follow Jesus out of it, we're getting to experience the joy in their lives too. And we're getting to show them that those are the things that we celebrate. You have to celebrate the little things, you know? And so we're actually, when we go, and then when we teach, like we have Bible study and church. And so every day we have 100 people in the dorm with us.
Wow.
The 3 of us, and then 96 people. And it's every day. Who's teaching next? Who's teaching? What are you teaching on? What are you? And so, like, I've usually taught my lesson by the time my lesson gets here, because everybody wants to talk about what we're talking about. But there has been such a void here with being able to, for them to be able to connect with people on a personal level. Because a lot of ministry is being able to let people know that you care about them, you know? And outside people come in and do ministry, and that's great.
Yes.
That's great. We love that. We love visitors. But on a daily basis, people just want to know somebody's there and they matter to somebody, you know? Because a lot of people in here don't have family on the outside.
Sure.
Or the family that they do have, they're not in contact with.
Yep.
Or, you know, so we've been blessed to be able to start building the little community for God inside this place. And I'm telling you, it's gone up fast.
Yes.
Fast. And when we're able to move around the whole compound again, because we were before we went on lockdown, being able to go back into, Miss Mahogany was nice enough to give us permission to go back into the intake dorm where we moved from on Saturdays and continue Bible study down there.
Wow.
So it's great because that's on the whole other side of the compound. So now when we walk from one side of the compound to the other, we're the God Squad. That's what people call it.
Oh my God.
They're like, those are the Jesus ladies, you know, and everybody's, hey, you know, and so, and they don't realize that what it does for us is, I think, way more than it ever does for them. Being able to share what we have with God with them, you know?
And Gretchen, we are so proud of you. And what would you like to say to the seminary students that have been released and that are out there?
I'm so proud of you guys. I am. And I love you so much. And I can't wait to get out there and join the movement that y'all have going right now. I know they're doing the Prayer Wednesday thing. And we're doing it here too.
Oh, wow.
Yes, all over the compound, Prayer Wednesday. And so I cannot wait. I'm so proud of my sisters.
And we'll end with this. There's HeartBound has thousands of supporters that give annually. Support programs like this, as well as trauma counseling at the Metro Transitional Center, Project Heart. Oh,
that's
1,000%. And Project Art at Metro Regional Youth Detention Center. I mean, we really are working in as many women's facilities as we can. What would you like to say to those supporters who support us with both prayer and with financial gifts?
Thank you. Thank you so much. It takes people like you answering the call that God has given you for us to be able to do this. And it's changing so many people's lives. Not just the lives of the students, which our lives have it's crazy. The statistics on us is crazy if nobody's ever went over those. But it's just amazing please don't quit doing what you're doing. This not only changes the prison systems, it changes communities, because most of the people that come into prison systems go back out into our communities,
97%.
Right. And so if while people are passing through this place, they can have an experience that changes who they are, that places God at the head of their life instead of whatever they were being ruled by when they got here, then those are the people that go back out into the communities, And so then you have a decrease in violence. Then you have a decrease in drug use. Then you have a decrease in all these horrible things that people do to each other on a daily basis, because when they're connected to Christ, they're not going to be who they were.
It's impossible.
It's impossible. You can't do both things. So we really are changing the world by doing things like this. And I know it seems little, but it's got to start little.
It does.
I mean, Jesus started with 12.
And I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but you are a seminary student. If you could, is there one verse that speaks to you of your journey as a seminary student, and now you're here at Pulaski ministering to the fenced-in flock as part of the God Squad?
There is. It's Acts 17:28, and that says, "In Him we live and move and have our being." And we have to truly live in that, because when we live in that, we stay connected. And I'm telling you, we have seen the favor of God move before us and behind us and all around us. I mean, I wish I could go into just some of the things where people of God will automatically go, "Wow, that's God. So none of this is ever in vain. None of it, even the people that don't complete the program, like you said, they have gone home and started ministries and had family reunification, and nobody has gone back to using drugs.
Nope.
Nobody has been unemployed. And it's just amazing. It's amazing. The only thing I wish we could do different is do it on a bigger scale.
Yeah.
But it's this, to be able to come to prison and be facing a lengthy sentence and be in a place where you're carrying all the guilt and the shame of everything you've done to get yourself there, and then be given the opportunity to do something like this, it's just crazy. It's crazy. And it's amazing. And it's I do my thankful prayers every single morning before I even get out of bed. Before my eyes even open, I start going through. I have a list of, God, thank you for this. Thank you for that. And one of the things I always thank Him for, even though I'm graduated, is thank you so much for the educational opportunity you gave me. Thank you so much for giving me a place to serve you inside this place.
Wow.
And because it really has completely changed my life.
Gretchen, we are so happy for you. We're so excited for you to go home and get to meet your grandbaby.
Yes.
I'm so excited. We thank you. We're so proud of you. We're proud of the rest of the women here at Pulaski. Thank you all for your support. As you can see, it does make a difference. And that little change that started at Whitworth Women's Facility is now just growing into our communities. Thanks.
Thank you, Spencer.